disposal. So I think it's a big plus. Sandilands comes in. They might stretch him up forward at the moment, but that is a great start to his AFL career. Shaping up to be a beauty here. I'm excited, Dwayne, because St Kilda, everything to play for if they want to go inside the 8 tonight.
Absolutely, Dicko Nadoc week. Michael Johnson in the middle. Toss the coin with Kobe Stevens and Jade Gresham. And the Dockers will kick to the right of your screen in the crowd building. Good atmosphere here for the final game of round 15. As mentioned earlier, just 8 rounds left at the conclusion of this game tonight. And if there is such a thing as an 8-point game, this is it. Fremantle still alive in their race for a spot in the 8, but the Saints, with a couple of key losses this round, including the loss by Essendon earlier this afternoon, have a huge opening for them if they can grab the victory here. But a toughish run in the next 6 weeks, but they win their way through in the next couple of weeks. They could open up their own spot in the 8. And the two Weller boys, Mav Weller and Lockie Weller, head-to-head. I think for the 4th time, I had a chat to Mav Weller pre-game. He said, "What's the score between you and your bro?" And he said, "It's 2-1 my way." And he's looking forward to it. I'll tell you what, it's a little bit of push and shove. Seems to be the way these days pre-game. Can't get a clean start to a game without someone threatening a free kick. See Griffin Logue in the middle of it. Wouldn't surprise me if there is a free kick picked out here. McCarthy being attacked. Not enough for a free. We're underway. Sandilands over the top of him longer. Gets it down. Good hard contact early. Secondary ball up.
Michael Johnson looks like he's going to Nick Revolt down in the forward 50 for the Saints.
And a flick down. Sinclair couldn't trap it. Hill does. Walters. Crozier on hands and knees. Ross in that congestion, and you could throw a blanket around 15 of them at the moment. We'll get another ball up. Still inside the centre circle.
Quick scan of it. The Saints are dropping an extra man back, and the Dockers aren't. So they've got one more at the footy, so they should win.
And you picked it pre-game, guys. Nat Fyfe playing full forward, which is huge.
Yeah, Sam Gilbert currently opposed to him down in the Fremantle forward.
And 50. So Sandilands can have a shot at goal from about 45 here.
We often go out before the game onto the ground and watch them warm up. I watched Sandy, and we often speak of how good. Remember yesterday we were talking about Carpenter, how well he was hitting them. Sandy wasn't smoking them off the boot. And from here, this will take a good one for him.
We saw fireworks pre-game during the fireworks before they even bounced the ball, and before the smoke even clears, we have a shot that's a behind.
He sort of struck that all right for how he was getting him before the game.
There's a little bit of breeze out there. It just worked to the right-hand side of the post, which is how the breeze is playing. It's been a pretty wet but mild and not that breezy morning here in Perth.
Yeah, great to see the sun shining. That's overcooked to Sinclair, and that's on the full. Didn't kick to himself and play on. If you kick from the square, from the kick in.
Ground's a treat, though, out there for the amount of rain that they said they've had here. Well done, the curators.
So Fyfe gets his first touch back after Sandilands got an early touch. Spur blasts it long. Cox is down there. Carlisle front spot. Read it well.
Yeah, Nathan Brown did quite well to just block young Cox out of the way and allowed Carlisle into that mark.
First season of playing for Carlisle. He's already their #1 intercept marker.
He's been a good addition. Costly but good as Hamling. Speaking of good additions, he's been a sensational addition by the Dockers this year. Johnson back inside 50. Cox front spot. Well, you mentioned it, Matthew Pavlich. He was held off the last one. He learned his lesson.
He did. He timed his run beautifully. It was a nice little stop and prop and then a launch up at the footy, and he's got a very good pair of hands, this young player from Woodville West. Yeah, good stretch. Nice pair of hands, and Woodville West Torrens product.
Does that count as your old club?
It may.
Torrens boy, Woodville Torrens. Good South Australian boys, and he can play anywhere. He can play forward and back. He did both as a junior. That kick makes us think maybe he's a defender too.
Well, he was an All-Australian centre-half back, so yeah, that's fair. It's probably more his go, but he's shown a lot up forward, so starting there again today, opposed to a pretty good player, Nathan Brown.
Yeah. Robertson. Big leap from Ryan. Got it down to ground at least. Stevens. Hands it back. Squeeze kick out wide. Long, good mark. And a low trajectory kick from Geary.
Got good numbers back already, Fremantle.
Stephen to Weller. First inside 50, Johnson. Good crash. Gresham got it to ground. Fed it out. Missed his target. Bruce with the handball. Ryan gets back after making that contest a centre-half forward. Horrible turnover. And the mark taken by Gilbert. And he can line up and make them pay full price.
That was a case of Brad Hill probably just trying to bite off a little too much. He had 3 teammates a bit closer to him and closer to the Fremantle goal, or St. Kilda's goal, and it's a bit sore there, but it was a bad miss.
So bittersweet pitches here for Saints fans. In fact, it's all bitter. You've got an injured Nick Revolt and a missed shot at goal, so one on either end.
We're going to have an enormous battle here through the middle of the ground. We know St Kilda love to take it on and obviously go direct to goal. Fremantle, they like to switch, but they're the #1 corridor team, so a big battle through the middle.
Hamlin shakes that tackle attempt, got it to Ryan, another of the young players having an impact at the moment. Good fist out of play by Brown. Just killed the contest, and at the moment he's up against McCarthy, who's been out of form in recent times. There's the Sandlands bump on Revolt. Just caught him
Unaware.
Yeah, which was in
Wasn't
5
terribly
metres of the ball.
Wasn't terribly vicious, but probably just surprised Nick a little bit.
Longer got there in front, knocked it down. Again, Gresham in the traffic. Walters, good step. Bounces it to Spurn. He's got the handball over the top to Gray. Back into the line-up this week. Hits wide to Cox. McCarthy leads for him. He couldn't find the right part of his boot. Sinclair attacked. Didn't really have it. Crozier got it back in the Gray direction. Gray gets it. Arms free. Walters just bombs it to Ballantyne. He gets there. Open goal. Ballantyne's back. Played last week, but he's back home and back in form.
Benny Dixon, from that boundary line throw-in on the back flank, that is, I know there was the little hack-up kick from Brennan Cox on the half-forward flank, but the transfer of footy from the back line to the forward line, that's as good as you're going to get out of the Dockers.
Absolutely, and you can see Walters just kicking it in. He was the one that started it on the half-back line. That's what he does when he throws into the middle of the ground. He can just unpredictable to the opposition and break it up for Fremantle. Outstanding bit of play from him.
A little bit of push and shove off the ball for a blood rule here.
It was that corridor exit, Derm, that set up that play.
Walters centering kick.
Yeah, exactly right. It's if you move the ball down the line from a stoppage, it's very hard to score. If you can get the ball into the middle of the ground to the wide expanses like Fremantle did on that occasion, you're a much better opportunity to score, regardless of the fact that the ball wasn't overly clean going forward. It gives you a chance to score.
Sean Darcy comes on to some applause for his first time at home.
Yeah, that's magnificent.
They
Piece of applause from the Fremantle fans showing their appreciation for his game last week. Bomb inside 50, Robertson gets there.
They also did that a couple of years ago with Lockie Weller when he played his first game out here. I think that was mainly the young female content of the crowd, though.
Montagna hands it up. Steele back into the lineup and getting back. Good mark. We talked about Billings pre-game. How important he has been, how important he has become. He was important from the get-go, as we spoke of. Saints took Jack Billings with pick 3 in the 2013 draft. Marcus Bontempelli went pick 4. Patrick Cripps, by the way, went pick 13 in that draft. And he's taken a little while to get going in comparison to Marcus Bontempelli, Jack Billings. Goal kicking is a factor. And there you go. He had a horrible season last year. 6 goals, 12 at 33% last season. Jack Billings been a little better this year, but that wasn't good.
We just see some work being done to Brady Gray there, come off with the blood rule. Just on Jack Billings quickly there, Dwayne, you were spot on. The way he's developed himself into that small forward. We can talk about Robbie Gray taking marks and that, but he's very dangerous on the ground and in the air.
He's sort of slide. What he did then was very very much the way he is when the ball's in the air. He will slide through for an overhead mark rather than Robbie Grace can push and shove and win it on its own merits.
Dunster gave it back. Ross. Robertson saw some space, pushed on the kick in the side, so it's not in the back. Delightful push, really. McCarthy at least getting into the game with that push. Billings back inside 50. Rewald edged out, and Hughes floats in back into the lineup this week with Connor Blakely, the out due to
Walters and Fife
surfing. Walters is out. Wants to play on quickly. Jick got around Carlisle with these. Sheridan. Sandlands has the height and the strength and blasts it back in the Cox direction. He's in position 1A. Got there a little nudge. No free. Crowd thought he deserved one. And then a trip. Double whammy.
That was well played by Aaron Sandilands. Got the ball moving quickly. It could have been a chop of the arms. I don't know for sure, but it was a great effort by Sam Gilbert to make the ground up. We see it here in replay, and then the free kick with taking the legs.
Two ways of looking at that. It was close. Line ball for a free. But young Cox would love the time again to actually take the mark.
I reckon that's what the umpire thought. You should have marked it. You got your arm touched. But they can't. I mean,
can't take that away in light of an almost free.
Yeah, absolutely. Membry slams it towards Spur. He drops it. Johnson crumbs it. Gives it back to Spur. And he went to ground. Oh, that was lucky because he went to ground, dived on the ball and nearly took the legs out.
Well, it's a fine line, that one, isn't it, Dwayne? Because you could argue it was the same sort of play, albeit that Spur had the ball this occasion.
Hill. Again, only Bradley playing today. Stephen out. Oh, that's a horrible turnover again. Stevens clever to Jack Steele. And he's away. Rewalt wants it long. Rewalt got ignored. He went shorter. Loney. Rewalt.
It's the first.
And can he get it from here?
First of 9 marks required for the record.
Bucky, let him run.
He's got the distance. Nick, he kicks the ball quite well, just whether or not he can maintain the accuracy over this sort of length.
Did you say he was against a slight flutter here?
He was hitting them a little tinny. Once again, talking pre-game, he was hitting them a touch tinny. That's not too bad.
It's coming back, but hasn't really got the distance. That's almost marked on the behind line by Darcy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Score review. Umpire's call is a behind. Please confirm if the ball went over the line.
Okay, so we'll have a look at this. Darcy told by the umpire he's not allowed to hold the ball in the meantime.
Nathan Williamson is the umpire adjudicating.
Yeah, it's a point by the looks.
Yep.
Good call by the umpire.
He'd be shattered. Sean Darcy didn't take a mark last week, so that could have been his first in his career.
One thing he did do besides the hit-outs, he had 6 contested, 6 clearances, which put him in, on averages, in the top 10 of the league. So if he keeps that up for the rest of his career, he'll be some sort of player.
Oh, that's what teams love, don't they? They love ruckmen who compete fiercely in the air, but also at ground level.
Point not paid.
Wow. Congratulations.
Because the back of the line is where the padding is. So the padding to padding line is behind the actual line drawn on the ground.
So if touch is made in parallel with that padding, that's where the mark starts, and it's completed on the outside as long as there's no fumble touch.
Yeah. Whereas another foot higher, it's above the padding and the line comes in 2 inches.
The one thing I'd like to see them do with the padding, and it may sound a little bit trite, is to actually make the top of the padding beveled like a 45 degree, because that's the way the angle of the ball comes down in flight.
This is Fremantle just testing out the defence of St Kilda. A double switch held up right in the middle of the ground, so they're just trying to spread them a little bit early.
And Ballantyne comes all the way down towards half back. He'd have to wait for the bounce. He surveyed what was around him before he went and gathered and gave to Hughes. He blasts it to one-on-ones on the wing. Good mark, not mark. Lockie Neal got high, got hands on it, couldn't bring it to ground. Splendid tackle by Mundy.
And the Dockers have struggled with that back half movement all year. They've been a side that turns the ball over heavily in their back half and it's scored against. So nothing wrong with testing the opposition early. Let's see if you're going to chase and follow us. If not, we're going to kick the ball around and have a lot of uncontested marks.
Fife, nice gather and go to Ballantyne to Spur, and they're out here. Cox calling for a long forward pocket. Sheridan sees him, puts it in his direction. He's up. Great mark, Carlisle. Stevens. Tight contest early. Rewalt, here's mark number 2 in his search for 9 to break the all-time record.
Ben Dixon, 2 intercept marks by Carlisle so far. Would you look at doing something down there?
Oh, not just at this stage, Dermot, but they've just got to be a little bit smarter. They've had, I think they've had more of the play than the Saints here. We see an error once again on the half-back line, but I'd suck them to see it a little bit longer.
Giloni had a perfect opportunity there, and the turnover's going to cost them. Mundy, Fife, Tucker turns it back over again. Steele gets it back. Montagna out wide. Gresham can get and go. Might go for home. Dances his way to 48 and drills it. Superb.
Well, Dan, we talked about the Dockers turning the ball over in the back half and being scored against. They did quite well there for a minute and actually won the ball back. We see Fife a missed handball, a fumble from Darcy Tucker, and then away the Saints went. And if you turn the ball over in that area of the ground, you're a strong chance to be scored against. The Dockers ranked 18th for score differential for this year. So it has been an issue for them, and it continues to be so today.
Great seizure by Jade Gresham on that opportunity, but gee, the Dockers gave him an opportunity on a plate then with that almost impossible handball to thread through the traffic when they actually had a man to the outside, which was an easy target.
Perfect drop down by Darcy to the spot. Neil was about to pounce on it, couldn't get away with it though. Sinclair to Geary out wide. Little knock away hammering to the boundary. It was deliberate, it was clever. It was exactly what he was after. We'll get a ball in.
Now, Derm, these are the setups where St Kilda like to generally have an extra defender in their back half, as the screen can show there. They try to set up one. It's just interesting, the Dockers are going one-on-one in their back half.
Stephen got it to Montagna. Now it's holding. They could have allowed play onto advantage there, but umpire decided it was too wide.
Little Donnybrook happening, nothing too aggressive. That's half aggressive. Although it is Hayden, so we let that slide. I love him. I reckon he's fantastic.
What this does, though, it gives them time to flood down now, so they've got to be smart. St Kilda pick their holes and find a way through.
Well, Subin has the job at the moment on Stephen. He had the job last week on Joel Selwood for the opening minute, then he was knocked out and went to Dangerfield. Long inside 50. Big fist of Darcy wins out. Logue. Only handball was cut off. Little trickler towards Nunes in the pocket, and it was called the distance, called 15. So Nunes can have a shot.
Well done, Jack Loney. Just kept at the footy then, and just the surge. It was all about the surge forward then from that forward pocket.
Push and shove off the ball again. Well, it gives them the lead, but only by that behind. Had the better of the last 6 or 7 minutes, the Saints.
Yeah, Fremantle certainly been dominating possession, but you're right, Dwayne, the Saints have just had a nice little patch.
Johnson wide, Geary stalking it, got up. Not normally his forte.
I actually thought then that Carlisle controlled the drop and might have been was probably going to outmark Fife just by virtue that the kick favoured him, and he's a much taller man.
Darcy, Bruce with the ruck work. Ball beats them all.
Sean Darcy, you were telling me from your days down in Geelong, one of your teammates, one of my ex-opponents, junior teammate at state level, was Tim Darcy. He's a relative.
He is. He's from South Purrumbete, Cobden, not the kind of place that you associate Tim Darcy with, but he is a distant relation, we're told. Fife back inside. Crozier looks up. Subin short. Ballantyne has got options of plenty. Almost get in each other's way. Hughes. Gee, oh, harsh call of play on. And he turns it over to Gilbert. Fife did well. He pulled his arm down and the ball fell. Fife jumps back in.
What a scrapper. That's fantastic.
What about that from Nathan Fife? He was so far out of position there. Gilbert had the box seat. Just enough of that arm and the ball and desire for the contest locks the ball in the forward half.
Out wide, Lachie Neale. Outstanding. All class there.
I'll give the great goal to Lachie Neale, but Nathan Fife, Lachie should go straight across to Nathan, his skipper, and pat him on the backside and say thank you for the opportunity. It's a great hit out from Sean Darcy, a set play, no doubt, and that is some type of finish.
All the Saints are on the inside of that stoppage there. There's nobody guarding the outside, and so look, I mean, you can still want to be at the footy, and that's fine, but sometimes you've got to guard where they can hurt you.
See Aaron Sandler is just on screen there having a chat to the docs. He's actually limping pretty badly down here, so only just back in the team today, so I'll keep him monitored if he's going to come back on the ground.
He has had quite a few injuries in the last couple of years. We'll keep an eye on which particular one.
It was the last kick that came down the line. He had to make up a fair bit of ground to lunge at the footy with Sam Gilbert in front of him, so I wonder if they're another flare-up of that hamstring or back that's been a bit of an issue for him.
And a calf that he had for a while as well, so he's had a few different options there. In the breakaway, wide ball, Gresham forward pocket, lurking, kept it alive well, and then he was dumped. That's free kickable.
Yeah, fair enough. He definitely overplayed that tackle. He slung him to the ground, and that's what the free kick's there for.
Love playing out of this pocket, Pav.
Oh, how's this going to bounce? It's skipped and rolled through. Oh. That's one of the goals of the year. That is clean bowled, two of them.
Thanks, Tommy. No worries. Score review.
Tommy Sheridan.
Umpire's call is a goal. Please confirm if the ball was touched.
Tommy Sheridan doesn't look that confident. He's the one at the back. Malcolm Walters at the front.
Need a look at Sheridan's fingers over the top of this. Yes. Yeah. I was about to say, Matthew, that you've played here 300 times more than all of us put together. That pocket there, whenever it was a state game or the likes, or playing here against the opposition, it always felt comfortable for a forward to score from that pocket there.
Generally speaking, the breeze tends to favour, so you just pop it up at the gold face. There we are.
And it'll drag it back
in, particularly for a right footer. So Gresham wasn't going for any breeze on that occasion. He was going for the one along the ground.
I thought that might have actually skipped on the second bounce and bounced over the
yeah.
I think they might have thought that too. Hamling. McCarthy, can he get into the game? He can't get near it long.
He allowed himself to be edged out there.
Webster.
Got a launch at it, Cam.
Cox in defence, jumps up. Weller off Jack Stevens' hand and out of play. A good result here for the Saints. Ball in.
Yeah, the one thing I've seen, Matthew, and you obviously have seen Cam a fair bit as well, McCarthy, is that when I saw him working...
It's hamstring, by the way.
Yeah, right hamstring down here, boys. So disappointing news for Aaron Sandler.
Well, lucky they left Darcy in the team then.
Absolutely, Dwayne. So over to you, Darcy, once again for another 40 hit-outs.
I see him, he pushed Longer sideways at the last centre bounce.
Walters caught high. Crowd saw it. Umpire did delayed version saw it. Gray, but they're out here. Play on advantage. McCarthy gets away from Hill. Heads toward Fife.
That's a great kick. Great kick.
Now there's no one forward for the long kick here. Tucker has to hold it up. Realises that. He's got Walters, the runner, who keeps it low, skids it through, roll, tumble, bounce, goal.
Cam McCarthy almost got out the way for Brad Hill, but it was almost like he thought, nah, I'm going for the ball. He hasn't had a great month or so of football, but you could almost see it here with the thinking process. Nah, this is for me to go for the ball. As you see, the free kick to Michael Walters Copper. He actually ended up kicking the goal down the other end, but the kick to Nathan Fife was just outstanding. Split two players and got the ball running. Really good composure by Darcy Tucker, and that's a great goal by Michael Walters.
Jimmy, I guess enough.
The Walters goal was kicked by a man in complete control of knowing what the ball had to do. Keep it low, let it spear, and it will keep rolling on. He just missed the one last week, but that's a good make-up, though. That's a great goal.
Sure, he's going to enjoy us reminding him quite often about the one last week. Spur back, Robertson, good grab.
But he was in complete control of that kick. It was a stunning kick.
37 games for Fremantle, of course. Dylan Robertson. Back to Subiaco. Hughes. Johnson. No one comes at him initially. Rio then does, but it was a half-hearted corral. Gave him space for Crozier.
There's a well-rounded kick from Michael Johnson. A great example of kicking the ball where it needs to go in the space for the forward.
Darcy and Fife both crashed that pack. Fife did well. Landed like a cat, went and got it. Darcy, big strong body in there. Webster, flicked it wide. Brad Hill stole it. Gave it to Mundy.
Benny Dixon, it's only a 10-point margin at the moment, but we've seen when the Saints play well, every game they play well, their pressure is through the roof. They've only had 8 tackles in this opening quarter so far.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start, Dermot. I think it's a bit of an arm wrestle at the moment. We've seen Fremantle when they can get the space and move so quick, but the pressure, we've always renowned St Kilda as being a terrific pressure team, so it's almost a grind. This is their best bit of play, though, because they've always gone wide, so turned it over once again.
Walters, outstanding one-handed pickup on the run and wins himself a free.
Is it downfield? Because
it's more central?
Yeah.
No, I think he was in the
act of disposal.
Yes. Yep.
Kobe, clear out, please.
Well, had an ankle injury earlier this year, Michael Walters. He wasn't kicking goals. Ross Lyon put him into the midfield, and that was all she wrote.
It was about round 6 or 7. He'd had a lean few weeks, playing predominantly as a small forward, and that can be a bit of a graveyard sometimes, Dern, but sparked him back into form going into the midfield, and another shot at goal.
He is a star, this kid, though.
Yeah. And kicking more goals as a midfielder than he was as a small forward. And kicks another one on cue. Great start this for the Dockers.
Once again, Benny Dixon, we talked about kicking actions and styles. The free kick comes up here and he cops one head high on the way up. It's a 50-50 free kick, but his kicking action is as pure as it gets.
He was one of the best kicks as a junior, under 16, under 18. The recruiters all loved the way he used the ball, and as a player who played with him for quite some time, I loved playing the way he used the ball as well. He's a fantastic, gifted player.
And you played with him in the early days when his enthusiasm needed a little tickle up.
Oh, yeah, more than a tickle. But, you know, I think that's the sign of someone who has so much character and pride in his own performance. Oh, Sean Darcy's hurt.
Yeah, he's gone down and he's not getting up in a hurry. So Sandlin's out with a hamstring. Darcy groggy. He's wobbling like a prize fighter at the moment, Darcy out there. Johnson. Subin. It's trapped by Stephen. On the rebound, Robertson. Ross.
Dr. Steele has just gone out to Sean Darcy to see if he's okay. Looks like he's waving away, but that could have been a big story.
Oh, yeah. And he's a heavyweight. Takes a bit to get him down.
He got a knee to the head or a contact to the head. The chin, he was feeling at the front of his mouth there.
Stevens blasts it long. Hamling from 4 deep. Knocked it straight down. Weller couldn't break away. Dunstan can't break away. Logue. Lockie Neal got it from Ryan. Dragged out of play. We've got a ball in with 4 minutes left.
That's the type of forward pressure that the Saints have been renowned for. The crumb from Maverick Wellers. We see Darcy copying that knee.
Yeah, knee straight in the head.
That's a good one, gee. But
they're 18th in the comp for forward tackling pressure too, Fremantle, and the way they were able to handle it there in the back half was fantastic.
Jack Steele back into the lineup. Can't get away with it. One of the 6 Jacks playing for the Saints again this afternoon. From the scramble, Mundy. Fife, Gilbert, one-on-one. Webster kept it in front. Gilbert, Carlisle. Robertson. 4 came at him, which meant that Ross was free. Longer. Just the required 15. Webster. Back to Ross. He had Geary wide. He ignored it. Membry. 1, 2, 3.
Great mark.
Just on that though, Dwayne, you called 4 came at him, so one had to be free, Seb Ross. It shows an intent of what Fremantle want to do today, and that is get to and pressure the ball carrier right at the source, right at the moment when he's looking to distribute the footy, so they fluff their line, so to speak.
Well, Rewalt couldn't do it from here early this quarter.
He was striking them nicely before the game, this fella.
Opens up the angle.
Oh, not then.
Across the face. Bruce. Front spot. Hughes tackled. Gresham nearly stole it, and they rush her behind.
Just on Timmy Membry quickly, I think his next couple of years are going to be unbelievable. He just shows so much as a forward from a work rate, over his head, and as you said, Dermot, normally a reliable kick.
Right age bracket now too, isn't he?
He's right in the go zone at the moment. His next couple of years are going to be phenomenal.
Great pluck by Cox. Gave it to Mundy on the run. Brad Hill's nothing forward, so has to hold it and think his way through it. Cox. Heads wide. Tucker. McCarthy. So now they've got players forward. They can get it forward. Hill looks up. Pokes it forward on the lead. He's had 3 possessions in this string of play, Cox.
He's had a great first quarter as well. Been good at both ends. Having a ruck now with Aaron Sandlands going off.
Just game 3 for him. Heads to full forward. Fife under it. Carlisle under it. Neil under it. Walters. He ducked into it a little, but he got it for too high. He wasn't really ducking. He was just heading in that direction slightly. It depends on who you barrack for as to whether that's a free or not.
Yeah, it's not a duck. We would call that a lowering.
If we're being quite frank with Michael Walters, it's been something that often he can tend to. That's high, isn't it, though? That definitely caught him
It was
high.
kind of on the way up, but he knew the arm was there. A hush at the main stadium. And he misses. That was for his 3rd.
Even players so gifted with the ball in hand can miss the time.
That was roughly the distance out from last week. We were on that spot earlier today.
Well, we talked about we could give him 100 shots from there and he kicked 99. He got 99 left from there now. Can't miss.
Geary. 1:24 left in a tight opening quarter. Fremantle had the better of the scoring, but Saints have had plenty of the play. Longer under this with 3 of them. Sinclair, he gave it back to Darcy, who was on his backside. Taken out.
The strength of Fremantle all year has been their clearance work. They've already kicked 3 goals from clearances from stoppages. So trends often your friend, and Fremantle going that way again today.
St Kilda are so strong around the ball for good soldiers who are really... So he's taking his own teammate high there. No free.
Membry attacks it. Got it out at least, and they can reset with 52 left.
Benny Dixon talked about Membry then. He's just turned 23, so yeah, as Benny said, he's in the go zone. He's in the right bracket now over the next 2-3 years to hit his straps completely.
And he does kick straight when he gets it. That's the beauty of a full forward. Well, last year we kicked at 70%. Slam towards half forward. Bruce attacked the captain in front. Here's Membry, the man we spoke about on cue. Billings kind of met at least with a hip and shoulder front on by Spur and not tackled. Logan trouble. Gresham hassles him. 30 seconds left. Saints could steal one late. He ducked into it. You heard the umpire scream. Rammed his head into the tackle. Bruce jumped on and Billings couldn't handle it.
Really good work by the St Kilda forwards there, Derm. Just enough hassle and pressure, not too much effort in the tackle on Lee Spur to keep the ball inside, not give away the free kick. Gives them the last chance to score.
Up to 16 tackles now, the Saints.
Longer straight down to Stephen. Sinclair full forward. They had plenty back. They had 4 back there. Spur one of the 4 for the Dockers. They knew exactly how long was left in the quarter. They'll be quite content to take this lead in at quarter time.
Took up a great spot then, didn't he? Just played a little bit off the pack, a little bit forward, so the scrubby kick is going to be his area, his go.
Final game of round 15. Another epic round of AFL footy. The Saints will be in the top 8 tonight if they have a victory away from home, but they trail at quarter time by 16.
50-50, the key at the moment.
Self-explanatory on screen. 5-man forward line for St Kilda going out.
Longer high against the second gamer. Walters tried to knock on Ballantyne. Slick hands. Weller. Walters already got 2 goals to his name. Could well have 3. Fife attacked it nicely. Back to Walters. Wrapped up by Steele. Ross. Robertson. Fierce start to this second quarter. Fife goes back in. Longer goes back in. Steele goes back in. Fife bustled out of it. Webster wide. Nunes didn't want to waste it.
Revolt didn't come out to the outside. Michael Johnson beat him for position then.
Spur.
And that's why Nunes had to turn back in, Dwayne.
Stephen did well. Good core strength. Steele couldn't get a kick away and will get a ball in.
And that's modern day defence, isn't it? The defender beating the forward to the line of the ball rather than back in the day where we used to just play on the shoulder and just see what happens. The modern day defender just goes to the ball. They go to where they think the ball's going to.
Well, they get coverage because your other defender can roll onto him if the ball starts to go there.
Nice little headbutt. Jack Steele to the chest of Nick Subin. Umpire didn't enjoy it, but no free kick. He just pushed him away.
Didn't enjoy it.
Hamling to Johnson. Heads wide. Yeah, he just said enough of that stuff. Hughes to Griffin Logue.
Don't mind this as Ben Dixon talked his way through it. They're just testing out that forward defence setup of Kilda, although Hilly's missed. That's his 3rd kick he's missed.
Hamling caught. Creeping up behind him was Loney. Rewald gave it up. It's all about the bounce again. My goodness. Saints have wasted an enormous amount of shots already. We're only a couple of minutes into the second.
Yeah, he hasn't got his kicking boots on today, has he?
Yeah. He's going to have another go from full back.
I like that, though. Get the ball in your hands and keep having a go. It's going to turn at some point.
He wants a play on here. Yeah, take him on.
Heads in the Darcy direction. It won't get there. Longer.
Another one.
Billings, long, Gresham in the square, big fist handling, took the body out. Free kick, goal square, Jade Gresham.
He's had a block, has he?
No, he's called it against Hamling.
Yeah, for getting the body with the body check spoil, even though Hamling got the ball.
He hit clean ball.
Yeah.
That is, and I will say, that is the first time I've seen this interpreted with no contact to the body, hit the ball, and then contact comes thereafter.
Yeah, we've talked about this all year. This, under the current interpretation, isn't normally paid. And he kicks the goal, and they get one against the run of play.
I'd be interested to see if this is against... So you're saying it's against Hamling for the body spoil?
Yep.
Well, it's not Spur for that little block there. For the Spur hand just gets in the way. Look at that one there.
Well, that's more of a free kick than what Hamling's done. I'm sure he said...
Oh, Fremantle have got a free kick from the resulting centre square bounce, but I think the free kick is against Spur.
Hayden, the mark, bit away, please. Report.
And I think there's been a report for a strike on Hayden Ballantyne in the middle. Free kick to Fremantle. Don't worry, we're checking the tapes. Darcy, Walters, Spur. He's got McCarthy out wide. This is his moment to get himself into the game. Crowd give him a roar. They want him back into the action. He's had a lean month and a half.
And he thinks he can get the journey.
Oh, that's the tale of his month and a half. Everything's tripping him up.
Didn't you love his smile, though?
He's such a good...
He saw the humour of that.
Young man. He's a really good fella.
He's going to take a big kick with this wind at the moment.
Just one goal last week in a lean afternoon against the Cats. And he's missed that to the near side. I'm not sure that was ever in the field of play.
No, it took off like a tracer bullet, though. Let's have a look at Ballantyne. There he goes to Jack Steele. Punch to the stomach. And tries to hold him up. Tries to stop him going to ground.
Okay, we'll have to let the match review panel decide whether that's insufficient force. Carlisle, Ballantyne. Good contest. Oh, yeah. Carlisle let him know. He was injured then, Ballantyne, and Carlisle still gave him one.
And it's a free kick, and fair enough, too.
You've got to give it to Hayden Ballantyne. He is pesky and he does get under the skin. but he will go at it, and he will give you a fair shot at him, and he will cop it and get up and play the next ball on its merits. He's a serial pest, but he is brave.
Oh, he's the bravest player you'll play with or against.
And you can't change the rules just because he's been a pest.
Oh, there you go.
It's a reversal. It's a reversal. It's a reversal. It's St Kilda's ball.
It's a St Kilda free kick now. It's a St Kilda free kick. It's a St Kilda free kick.
Oh, wow.
That's where Fremantle players just got to keep their head. That's something that just staggers me at times when you've got the opportunity inside 50 and that happens.
Almost kicked that out on the full. Now, Ballantyne, did he accuse his own teammate of doing something wrong there?
He certainly did.
Someone.
He pointed to his own teammate and said, that's not good enough. Boy, it's on here. Not just team against team, player against player. Ball close to the boundary line. Sinclair couldn't get it out. Subin dumped.
But no, I think that feedback on the game day is okay, Dwayne. I think sometimes you get a...
Let's have another look. So let's look what he hits and hurts, and Carlisle.
Yeah. So that's a free kick. Yep, we all agree that there's a free kick there.
That came in because of the treatment that
Subin got dumped as well. That was a 50-minute penalty.
And then it got reversed again.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll show you the other bit. So it was a free kick to Ballantyne, 50-minute penalty, then a reversal. Hill goes out wide. It's hard to know where to look at the moment. There's plenty happening off the ball and on the ball.
Now, that rule came in after Brisbane went at Nick Revolt a decade ago when he was injured.
So let's have a look at this.
He went to him. That'd be stupid. Michael.
It's hard to pick where that St Kilda free kick, the reversal came from. Might have been the dumping, was it? Anyway, we move on.
Oh, I'll tell you what, the players haven't. They're taking names and numbers.
The one thing I will say, though, even though they've given up a goal there, Fremantle tend to play well, in my opinion, when they are on edge.
No doubt there's a particular group of players, I think, that need to play on that edge. Probably all players, not just Fremantle-based.
Got one sitting between us at the moment, Pat. 5.
Just a lover.
Thank you, Nick.
Hamling. Walters. Heads wide.
Wow.
Great delivery to Hughes.
What a kick. That's gone 55 metres, that kick.
It's a good spot with this. Darcy's under it. McCarthy's under it. Cox is under it.
Oh.
And he missed.
He knows where the ball's going, both in the air and on the ground. That's a good crumb for a person who's 6'4". Shown a bit early in this game.
Interesting period for St Kilda here. We know there's a bit of fire in this, and almost a smother on the goal line.
He did to get a bit of it, Ballantyne, and he kept it in the area. Little knock on, didn't work. Darcy pumps it back. Geary should mark it. Takes off in the middle. Ross. Billings. Back to Ross. Kobe Stevens.
Josh Bruce is on the charge into the forward line, and Darcy's trying to chase him.
Logue did well, knocked it away from Rewalt and got it to the boundary. And he's only in game 6 as well, Griffin Logue, but he's growing as a player before our eyes.
And that's going to be the test for young Sean Darcy, particularly when he plays on St Kilda's second ruckman, Josh Bruce, and the like are trying to drag him forward. He's going to need coverage, defence from his
And Bruce
teammates.
is a really good endurance athlete.
So Bruce and Darcy. Mundy got his hands free, stolen by Sinclair. Stevens hit the belly of the ball. It'll still be a mark if it's taken. Big fist comes. Hughes. Neal. Weller drops it. Good shake off Dunstan, then he slipped. Stevens. Back inside. Now he has some space. Didn't trust himself. Carlisle from 48 delivers big time. That is huge from Jake Carlisle.
Luke Dunstan, great effort with the pick-up, the dodge, the composure to come back inside and go to his numbers. And a great finish by Jake Carlisle. You watch here, he almost slips over. Enough composure. He wears the tackle coming up. Gets out of... He looked like to kick it, and then a nice hand pass. And that's a really good kick by Jake Carlisle. Fremantle been dominant, had all the play in their forward half, but that's a big goal for St Kilda.
Get focused back on the football, guys. Jack, come on. Come on.
And it's still on behind play. You can hear the umpires barking instructions. They'll be hoarse at the end of this one.
Got
They're umpiring and coaching out
Got
there.
the emergency umpires warming up down here too, Dwayne.
Good contest, though, and Carlisle has put a big spark into it. They've got their mojo up and running. Sinclair up and running. Headed out wide instead. Huge kick this. It's another behind, though, and they continue to waste.
Back to the bucket, please.
A couple of culprits we've talked about, and Alan Richardson wouldn't be all that happy.
Got their mojo, though. Their tackling's up in this second quarter. They were -7 for contested tackles, contested possession, sorry, in the first quarter. They break even now, but using the ball a little bit better.
Play on. Play on.
Good contest again, Nat Fife having an impact. Rewalt, manhandled off it. Montagna, well, he knew the boundary was there, was content to get it out.
Struggling now, Fremantle, just to get out of their defensive zone. Early we saw them switch the play up. We've spoken about a number of times by foot, but St Kilda really shutting them down, and that Carlisle goal dictates exactly what's happening. The back line are pushing up and helping.
Darcy,
Great
perfect
tap.
palm down. Lockie Neal to Weller, back to Neal. Caught, got his hands free to Hill. He flicks it out into space. Cox, clean hands. McCarthy heads wide. Brown, Mundy. Boundary line too quick for them.
That's a great depiction of ball handling around the contest by both Lockie Weller, Lockie Neal and Brad Hill, and the awareness from Brennan Cox to come back to the footy when everyone else was running away. Really smart play.
Bruce thumps it down. Walters.
Ben Dixon, when you said before, remember the first quarter when Walters was at the footy and he centred the ball up. It was the best they transferred the ball from back line to forward line. He's now playing as a high half forward, so he's not going to the stoppage, and they're not getting that expert kick away from the congestion.
Not Dermot, you're spot on with that. I think Brad Hill's pivotal to that as well. So if they're going to play him up the field as the fifth midfielder, you almost got to have him lateral to the stoppage. And Brad Hill, as I mentioned, they're the two link players that'll get him back into this.
Hamling stalking this one. Got front spot. Subin crumbed it but was caught. Good hassle by Jack Steele. Ball out of play. So if you've just joined us, it was a tight game early. Fremantle kicked the last 3 goals of the opening quarter, but the Saints have hit back with the first 2 goals of this second. Darcy front spot. Fife. Neal. Crozier. Mundy leads back at him. Couldn't hit him. In the hole. And waiting for it was Webster.
Did well, just read the kick, but because Mundy had done his opponent then on the lead.
Rewalt. Another mark. I won't tell you every time, but he is stalking that all-time AFL VFL marks record.
I'll build it. It is.
Yeah,
You've got to tell us.
I think he'd know about it. Carlisle heads wide.
Yes.
Okay.
No doubt.
Interesting area of the ground where they are right now, St Kilda. They haven't scored from this part of the play, which has been their one-wood. They are the #1 team from defensive mid-scoring. This is the play. So they normally score, but they haven't. So Fremantle have been right up with their pressure.
Well, Montagna can go here. Good contest. Hamlin got back, but they kept their feet. Both Loney and Weller. Hands to the square. Spur, big fist, body check fists. Took it through for a behind.
That didn't end up in a St Kilda goal, but the forward patterns then looked really good. They had a couple of players presenting hard up at the footy out of the goal square and someone who coming around the back. That's when, as a kicker, going inside 50 and an opposition backline, you have the most trouble. If you have multiple options, you have every chance of scoring.
Hamlin gets a mark back on Rewalt.
That's a real key, isn't it? If you've got forwards who will work to opposite directions, so the kicker has a multiple selection to make.
Sheridan wide towards Cox, who was outreached by Longer. Splendid grab.
Some advice.
Logue up in the middle with the fist. Well over the crumb. Geary. Quick hand. Spillings.
Mine.
Johnson.
Read that well.
And Walters runs. Gilbert to try and shut him down. He's in the middle of a couple of Saints, Walters. Sidestep was good. Handball was unbelievably good. Hill can go the way. Sees McCarthy. Puts it out in front of him instead. Gathers. Turns. Centering ball. Ballantyne slips. Ballantyne gets up. All part of the grand plan. Their darling Ballantyne. Don't they love him?
Very good, Dwayne. I enjoyed that one.
How good. And I know there's other players who've had more of the footy than him, and we're probably singing him a bit hard, but every time Michael Walters gets the ball, there must be fear in the St Kilda coaching box, because he's creating so many opportunities for the Dockers when they come forward.
Yeah, that's right. He's been dominant player. Ranking points-wise, he's up to 68 already. Dominant player on the ground.
First to his feet. That old adage, keep your feet. Well, if you can't, be first up. And he's built pretty close to the deck, so it's not a long way up, and he did well. Michael Walters' hit in the handball in the middle was just beautiful.
We don't see that 30-metre release handball very often in the game, but it was once a feature of the 80s and 70s. Ross pumps it back inside 50. Almost Bruce. He had a big piece of it. Spur. Logue. Spur. Ballantyne. Robertson got a fist on it. Fife. Tried to slip the handball through Dunstan. The flick handball from Neil was unbelievable. Handball without taking possession. Hill. Inside. Gray.
Well, they're on out to the other side if you can go. Wheel and go. Too late.
Gives it some air. Sheridan under it. Membry got back. Ross.
Really well played by Tim Membry.
Good contest at the moment. Billings. In fact, Sinclair on the run. Collected. Bruce says, hang on, boys. I'll maybe have a think about it from here. He's got Dunstan inside. And he's got Loney out wide.
Really good work by Loney. Then work rate to not only give an option back at the football, but then worked hard to the pocket. Again, St Kilda's forward line leading in sync.
Loney inside. Oh, he missed Dunstan. He overcooked his attempt. That's a horrible turnover.
Got numbers back, so they have to play it slow here, the Dockers. Numbers forward of this are with St Kilda.
Neil wide to McCarthy, who gets there and marks it on the line.
Didn't get the chance to talk about it before, but Cam McCarthy, when saw him in his real young days, he's so brave in the air, and he's second-guessing himself in the air now. He really needs to just come back to launching at the footy.
Often that's the way for a key forward, isn't it? That if things aren't turning, you just get, sometimes you think, well, let's just go for every ball. Just launch at every ball and see what happens. Now, that's not often the best way with other teammates.
Gresham gets there. Good contest. Can he gather his own crumb? Keeps it in front. This would be epic. That is a monumental goal from a star on the rise.
Well, it just hung too long in the air, didn't it? That kick. That is great work from Jade Gresham to firstly make the contest. As we see the long switch kick, that's the one that can sometimes hang a bit too long. And look at that work rate. Firstly, the contest, then the paddle in front. That is brilliant play.
And he had two players in the middle of the ground that he could have switched to. You see, it just came out of screen there, so trying to bite off too much.
Second goal for Jade Gresham. We talked about Jack Billings taking pick 3 and Bontempelli was pick 4. Jade Gresham was a pick 18. Ryan Burton was pick 19 to Hawthorn. So a couple of good players back-to-back there that the Saints had the choice of. Neil wide to Mundy. Tucker. Pops it up in the hope that Fife can get up early. Gilbert got up. Brought it to ground. No free.
You don't normally see that from Nathan Fyfe. He's normally so gifted in his timing at the ball, the jump. It's a little unusual. He might have lost it in the sun perhaps, but he's normally so good at timing and his jump and his run of the ball. Not so on that occasion.
Nice palm down. Darcy to Fyfe to Mundy. Kick smothered. Geary kept it in front. Got a couple to beat. Sinclair. Good release handball to Weller, and they are out. He's got one-on-ones ahead. Bruce. Oh, he got there, but he just dropped it to the deck. Hamling hassled him. Free kick. Great throw.
He did everything right, Josh Bruce. He pushed off at the right time from Joel Hamlin to get a bit of separation in the contest. He just couldn't hang on to this. A great effort by Hamlin to spoil it. Yeah, it did hit the ground. Fair enough there. But his work rate to get back inside 50 and his body work was sublime.
Saints threatening to steal this lead for half-time here. 7 minutes left. Got some good momentum and they turn it over again. Longer. Darcy hassles his way to it. Sheridan flicked it up. Mundy. Hughes. Caught. Gresham picked his pocket. Went and got it back again. Spur. High quality contest at the moment between these two. Walters dragged down by Geary. Free kick.
Well, it's a free kick to Michael Walters, but we talk about score sources quite often, and the Achilles heel of the Dockers all year has been getting scored off turnover. I've had 10 shots already against, but the strength is their stoppage work.
Ryan to Hill, went for Gray, goes back and gets it. Gray handballs it to the deck. Weller,
Lefty.
Big Darcy, gee, he spanked it. He spanked it long, he spanked it big, and he spanked it for his first.
You could just see the St Kilda player confronting him, feigned onto a smother, anticipated on Darcy's right foot. The natural go here is Darcy's left foot. So just watch him drop into the middle here. Coming up, he's still right in the corridor here. Now, see he stays on his right-hand side. Stevens looking to block up the right-hand side kick, but the big fella's a lefty. He's done him. He's nutted him.
It's a moment he'll never forget either. First goal, it's a big moment in a career, and
a real bonus of being a left footer.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I will say the last few ball ups around the ground, Dwayne, Darcy's pushed like the 7-year veteran Longer sideways when it comes to a test of strength.
He was the #1 ruck in the TAC Cup last year, Sean Darcy, but he's got a man's body.
Yeah.
He's only 19, but he's got the body of a man a few years older than that. Hughes. Fyfe leads. Through his hands.
Great tackle.
Yeah, rolling tackle by Gilbert on Crozier. Ross, Weller, Brown, Geary, Ross. Montagna. That'll do. That'll work. Gresham. Billings.
Good numbers.
Weller. Gresham. Hunted down by Ryan. Got it towards Bruce.
Great battle.
Yeah. Hamling. Mundy. Boundary line.
That is everything that is good about our footy in the days when we would have one-on-one battles, key forward, key back. It's not an aerial contest, that one, but it's a one-on-one test between ability, strength, knowledge, reading the ball in flight. It's fantastic.
You can just tell now it's going to come down to who can punish on turnover, because the pressure is enormous from both teams.
Steele back inside 50. Hamling. He knew it was rolling out. He gave it a little bit of help at the end.
St Kilda's ball handling across that half-back line to win it, use the composed possession, get it going their way, and then get it forward to a 1-on-1. That has been something that they've done quite well so far this year. Hasn't been a strength so far today.
Spur. Johnson. Little fumble. Mopped up by Ryan. He couldn't get it back. Billings somehow manufactured a huge goal late in this half.
Well, it's another score from a turnover. It's 5 goals, 6, 11 shots a goal that the Saints have had from Fremantle turnovers. It comes from a stoppage, but then the ball gets out here. There's the turnover. It comes. It's a great handball by Kobe Stevens, and that's a good finish by Jack Billings.
Luke Ryan, the 4-game veteran, just lost the handle on it. Just panicked the handball out in the end.
Jack Billings ranking points there.
That's enough, Lee. Thanks.
Getting better with each passing week. He was ill this week, Jack Billings. He's never in doubt selection-wise, but he has been a little crook Monday out of the middle. 2-point game again. Saints again threatening to take the lead at half-time. Great. Carlisle in the right spot. It's poked away from him. Brown out to Geary. Montagna. Rewalt. Geary. Ryan. Well read. Neal. Hill. Now Subban's out. Jack Stevens' man got away from him. The man who's tagging him. He's going to have to hunt him down. Heads to the pocket. Sheridan with one paw. Couldn't quite. Brown. Webster. Turns it over. Subban. And this could hurt. Cox is going to go back. We just saw Darcy kick his first goal in AFL football. Here's Brennan Cox's chance to kick his first.
This will be his 10th disposal. He's up to the 4 marks. He's definitely been a highlight of Fremantle's play so far today. Young Ford just playing his 3rd game.
Dockers have had 6 new players debut this season. Brennan Cox, one of them.
Strike.
That was never in doubt for his first of many.
Another celebration for a first goal. Sean Darcy, the last one for Fremantle. Now Brennan Cox. A turnover from Saints in the back half by Webster, just came off the side of his boot. Then Subban, a quick play inside forward 50 there. The ones that you like as a forward.
You see Cam McCarthy get there at the end and go, whoa, 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 whoa. I think it might have actually been directed to McCarthy, but Cox chips in. Well done.
Still only 18 years of age. Brennan Cox. Griffin Logue, 19 years of age. Sean Darcy, 19 years of age. And they're standing up. Stevens off the deck, straight to Hughes.
Just another injury concern down here, Duano, with Tommy Sheridan. Just getting his left knee assessed at the moment. Hobbled off about 2 minutes ago.
Thanks, Dicko. Newton's handball a little slick for Billings. Webster. Lockie Neal. Pumps it along. Walters up early. Just misread it slightly in the unrealistic leap, according to the umpire. Geary's ball. Crowd don't agree. You wouldn't expect them to. Webster wide and Cox is having a huge impact.
Clean hands above head.
David Mundy at the top of the 50 all by himself. Didn't see him.
He sits it up. Fife setting himself. Not quite. Geary under siege at the moment, the Saints. Montagna caught a little high. Free kick to Joey Montagna.
I know he hasn't had the impact just yet, Nate Fife, but I can tell you his pressure inside 50. He's had 4 tackles. He's been enormous, and he just on the verge of probably taking a grab or 2 as well.
Loney. Logue held up just in time.
They really need him up forward as well, because they're actually kicking it in long, and St Kilda got a tall marking back line.
Jack Steele over the back. Didn't get there. Hamling's fist knocked it down. Membry tried to thread the eye of the needle with a handball attempt. Hughes said a pretty good day at the office. Hamling did have until then. Weller jumps in. Bruce out to Rewalt. Feeds it out wide to Jack Steele. Back inside to Ross. Good build-up. High bomb. Numbers back for Fremantle. Flick clear. Geary, can he get there? Weller. Almost a throw. It is a throw. Free kick, Saints.
That's it.
Big free that.
Just clawing on them, weren't they? Because St Kilda got superior numbers to this ball going into
Hand off to Carlisle. He plays on Carlisle and drills it. 2 monsters from Carlisle in this second quarter.
But slight marking by the Fremantle forwards, or as we see the throw to begin with, which I think was there. And good pressure from the St Kilda forward line to firstly lock the ball in and give themselves a chance, but there, no one there. Easy layoff, and 2 goals from Jake Carlisle. It was a great return from your defender, who generally speaking has been playing on a key and or freeing himself up.
'99th game now for Jake Carlisle. 100th next week against Richmond. What a game that might be.
Same again. The win goes to Billy Longer, but Fremantle clear the ball.
So 5 to Mundy at half forward. Gilbert mops it up. 1 minute left. Been an awesome second quarter. Been an awesome round and an awesome season.
Pressure.
Turnover though. Trouble. Subin stands stark. Great smother. Webster. Read his mind. Geary. Great smother on the rebound. Subin gets it back. Tackled up by Montagna. Cox just kicked his first. Misses here.
There's been twice now that Nathan Brown's been on Nathan Fyfe and David Mundy. 2 midfield types, but they've been the full forward leading out of the ball. Nathan Brown's just almost gobbled them up, essentially just gone, bang, no worries, easy spoil. You wouldn't mind...
Touch ball, by the way. Sorry, Pav.
You wouldn't mind a key forward coming out of that forward post, a Cam McCarthy type, to be able to get a bit of separation. Even Brennan Cox, who showed a bit with his hands out in front, get a bit more separation. Nathan Brown, such a wonderful defender over a long period of time for both Collingwood and now St Kilda.
He's one of the old school, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
He's oblivious to the footy being out there. He just doesn't want to get it. He just makes sure you don't get it.
He's pretty good at that.
Darcy rolls it back towards Tucker. Hassled his way to it. 26 seconds left. Nunes. Carlisle. Turnover. Danger here for the Saints. Just need to be steady. Geary from Rewalt. All the way back to Webster. Back towards Geary. Kept it alive. Seconds remaining. Steele. Jumped into. Play on. With the siren will sound.
Played that well, Webster, on the last line.
Half-time. If you have joined us late, St Kilda did sneak their nose in front halfway through the opening quarter. Fremantle kicked 3 goals in a row to end the opening term. The lead by 16 at quarter time. And they've led since then. The Saints have hit back a few times and threatened to take the lead. It's a 3-point margin at the half, and this one is living up to the hype. 2 teams that are in the finals hunt. St Kilda win this. They're back inside the top 8 tonight with 8 rounds left in the home and away season. Fremantle win this. They're also part of the reckoning in the shake-up for finals as we head downstairs to Ben Dixon.
Thanks, Dwayne. I've got an injured Lockie Neal down at the moment, but the battle's on, isn't it? What a great start to the game by both sides.
Yeah, definitely. We knew we had to bring that intensity that we saw from us last week if we were going to compete with St Kilda. So to the boys' credit, we've come out strong and St Kilda fought back then. So it's a tight tussle, but look forward to the second half.
Just discussing the score sources, it's almost who's going to score off turnover because the pressure's enormous.
Yeah, it is, and we knew that St Kilda were going to bring that, and we knew we had to bring the pressure, turn it over and get scores that way, and both sides are turning it over a little bit and it's creating opportunities.
Thanks for your time, Lock.
Cheers, DK.
Those types of shots go all around the world, so don't those Aussies, they don't care.
And there's a bit of blood on the line, bit of skin in this game for both teams. 3-point margin, half-time. Great to have your company wherever you are watching around the world. Game 2, so far so good for the number 1 ruckman in the TAC Cup last year. He's got Longer against him. Fife's in the middle after starting at full forward. Just out of his reach. There is Sheridan, attacked it hard. Webster, Nunes, bumped. Brad Hill the pick-up. Just out of Fife's reach. Hassled toward the boundary. Kept in by Billings. Robertson found Geary. Caught and rolled nicely by Walters. No prior, ball up. A little bit of spice in it, some nasty in the opening half of this one. And there's a bit on the line here. And we'll keep an eye on Weller. Have well there in the hands of trainers.
Their best forward line pressure player.
Good hunt. Crozier bounced up, kicked it toward goal and got an unkind bounce across the face.
Hasn't had a huge amount of the ball today, Hayden Crozier, but his pressure and his tackle and effort around the contest has been superb. Would have been a nice reward for that effort early in this third quarter.
Ross makes position for this ball. He turns around and lets Longer go at it, but it was Fife's.
Well done, Darcy.
Yeah.
The work by Sean Darcy then just to hold Longer at bay.
Good hard attack by Webster. Subin crumbs it, gave it to Walters. That looks good off the boot. He's got it there.
He's touched it. Is it inside though?
He thinks he's got 3. I reckon the umpires might call this a goal.
Score review. Umpires call it a goal. Can you please confirm ball across the line before being cut?
If it is a goal, take a mini bow, Sean Darcy, making sure that Fife marks that to put the ball back inside. That's free.
That'll stand. 3 goals to Walters.
I think Sam Gilbert knew as well, but he thought he might have slowed the play up a little bit.
The crowd about to erupt when they get confirmation here.
It's some type of game that Michael Walters is having. 16 disposals up to the 3 goals and 425 metres gained. He's been a dominant player from the word go, both playing as a midfielder and a high half forward.
I must ask you, Pav, we've only really seen him push in and have the impact in the midfield. Why has it taken so long? Because we asked Ross a month ago and he said, we thought we'd throw it in and see how it went. Well, it's turned out all right.
Well, look, it happened a fair bit last year because of circumstance, really, in terms of a lot of players being injured, but it's really sparked him into some form. He was sore for a couple of weeks, so it's not just being up in the midfield. His body's a lot better than it has been early in the year.
Free kick in the middle. Jack Stevens' ball. He was reported earlier today for a hit on Ballantyne. It's been a tight game from the outset, this one. The last 8 goals in this game have been goal for goal for goal. Each team having a piece of the momentum. Rewalt. Caught by 4 Dockers.
Yeah, great. Jake Gresham had actually seeped out the back.
Didn't he? Yeah.
All the Dockers went to the ball, which has been a strength today, but it was a dangerous play.
Longer put it down Stevens' throat. He was caught high. Free kick, Jack Steven. Fans don't agree, but it was there. He put his head in the noose.
You can hear Dane Margetts there explaining it that the high contact was certainly there, and there's the replay. Fife. I mean, very hard to argue any case against that.
To steady the ship.
Pretty good set shot as a rule. They need one. Yeah.
And he sprays it.
That's their woe, isn't it? Set shot kicking.
Talked about it pre-game. 6-9, should really be 9-6 from the kick in.
Yeah, that's right.
Taken by Hughes.
Ranked 17th in the competition for accuracy with set shots. It's often a stat that's underrated or not given too much credence, but critical.
Well, it's the difference between them being in front or not. Sheridan just inside the boundary.
Thank you, Luke.
Pumps it down the line. McCarthy stalking it. Got nowhere near it, jumping from 4 deep. Little knock towards Geary from Rewalt was clever.
At least he launched with that one. You're right, the fact that McCarthy didn't get very close to the ball, but we talked about it in that second quarter term, that sometimes as a forward, as a key forward, just launch it and the rest will come eventually.
Maverick Weller makes his way up out of the dugout. Sons the St Kilda jacket.
Tie up in the middle. They're playing against his brother for
If you're going to ask me a question, don't swear at me.
4th time as the umpire.
That's a reasonable request.
Where's Rucks? Where are Rucks?
Umpires today, Dean Margetts, Curtis DeBoy and Nathan Williamson.
That's what I often say to you sometimes, Dwayne.
Yeah, we do have a good car ride or two to games. from the flick down. Logue, Loney, Walters, Hughes did well. Gave it to Spur. Walters on the run. Needs to be a good kick. Ballantyne and Weller out there. Weller got there first. Hayden back for him. Chisel kick, good. Bradley Hill can go. Landed like a cat, but then fell. Got up, gave to Walters.
What about the recovery, Dwayne?
Out to Ryan. He's been pretty good as well in game 4. Hit 66 last year. Give him a rap, nearly turned it over. Walters. Hamling. He's wreaking havoc at the moment. Michael Walters, 3 goals, coming off a 28 possession game last week and nearly the match winner. He's in fine form. Hughes. Weller. Ballantyne. Got a free.
Just a little slow to come forward then, because Lockie Neal had backdoored his opponent. Now he's there.
Crozier bumped his own man, Lockie Neal. We're on the same page. And Dunstan sees it out.
Had they kept coming on the half, I know that they've got to play a little bit safe with this selection sometimes in this modern day, Matthew, but Lockie Neal had gone out the back door express. No one had gone with him, and had they gone the same way, he'd be walking into an open goal.
Longer front spot on Cox, got it down to Ross. Hamling read that to perfection. Johnson. Brad Hill, not the required 15 to Darcy. Big run and deliver man. Heads long. Mundy caught behind. Crashed it down to Walters. Sidestep. Miss.
Both ends.
He could have had second behind. I think he could have had 5 goals. He's up to the 21 disposals. We talked about Nadot week leading the lead up to the game. Brad Hill, 22 disposals. Michael Walters, 21, inspired by the Indigenous jumper. Michael Johnson also having a terrific game at 16 disposals.
The 2 misses have been absolute sodas for Michael Walters too.
Crowd not quite sure that was the required 15. Nunes did well.
Can kick it, this lad.
And to Bruce, who hasn't had any big impact yet.
Got Geary on this swing, all on his own.
Now Geary can get and go. They are running hard for him. He's got Ross short if he wants the short. Goes a little longer into the hole. Outstanding grab in the end in the pocket by Loney. He really had to motor to get there, but the kick was just as good.
Great work to motor that well, but then the hands above the head running absolutely flat out with Brad Hill on your hammer. That is brilliant skill.
He may only be 174 centimetres. Goes in short now. He may only be 174, but that action by Loney then was the running mark of somebody who's played a fair bit as a key forward in junior footy. Maybe undersized, but he knew what he was doing on the launch to that ball.
15 seconds.
Dunstan told by the umpire how long left. Scoreboard behind him, so we can't see that he's down to 6. He's on the run up though. Struck it pretty well. It doesn't bend back for him. Only a behind, and they have wasted opportunity after opportunity to be in front in this game.
Yeah, they do, Dane. They average 26 shots on goal, but they're only getting an average of 12 goals a game, so definitely hurting them.
So what you're saying is they've only got 10 left. They need to make the most of them. Oh, hang on.
Oh, Hill.
Yep. Second time he's gone to ground and still recovered and completed the task. He's getting around here. Oh, maybe not.
To 5, put him under pressure. Great tackle initially, Montagna. Then he was shaken by good core strength of 5. Clean bowled a couple.
Almost got the
rolls
spare.
out. Saints have lost 11 of their past 12 games outside of Victoria. They've lost their last 6 here at the main stadium. The Saints, you need to kick accurately, full stop, but especially away from home.
And with that Nathan Fyfe push-off then, that's why you go into the gym. Just a big bench press on him.
He's looked in good form, Nathan Fyfe, back into the lineup this week and going to rack up a big number, you'd think, by the end of the game in this form. Johnson, look away to Spur. Logue. Gone. Tackle brought down. Gresham looks up. He might go himself. He's got Rewalt outside. Shoots his way inside. 50 and even the great one can't deliver.
Didn't stay low in the kick. Very upright and almost, in tennis terms, he undersliced that kick then.
Kicked 709 of them in his career. Should have kicked that. Cox again.
Sean Darcy, another screen. There's 2 this quarter.
Turnover though. Stevens inside to Webster, to Nunes. Rewalt leads. It's out wide. Sinclair from 49. Rewalt called him in.
Now, Dwayne, this could be another set shot that's almost on that 50-metre arc. St Kilda today have had 1 goal 5 from their set shots. So often it's been around this distance as well. So this is a huge kick, not only for the context of the game, but St Kilda's confidence.
Right on the paint. Struck it okay, but it's across the face. Distance wasn't a worry. Accuracy again is.
1 goal 6.
What's happening with the shots outside their range routine? Normally you're nice and straight. They've got an arc and they're going round, so it's almost pot luck. They're better off spotting.
Stevens.
As another intercept mark inside 50. Almost spotting up. They need to spot up a short kick.
Hands it off to Gilbert and he blasts it wide.
They did this in round 2 against the Eagles here at Domain Stadium. Dominated periods of the game.
That's on the full. That looked to be on the full. Maybe the parallax error got me, but Ryan's been paid the mark.
Well, you see the umpire boundary on the right-hand side of the screen there. He had a great view of it.
Little tap on. Weller. Stevens. Ross. Can somebody find the big opening? Out wide to Rewalt. Gathers. Takes it back outside 50. Chips it back inside. Gilbert, 1 grab, not the second. Logue had a chance. Ball still alive. Picked up by Subin. Back to Logue. Blasts it away. Wobbles it. Bouncing ball. Fife beelined it. Kept it in front. Gave it up to Tucker. Hamling. Mundy. Ballantyne. Outstanding ball use. And Bradley Hill is long in space. It's cut off though. Brown gets it back. Saints on the rebound. Montagna. Rewalt, nothing to go to. Might have turned it back over. Tucker knocked it away. Gilbert caught high. Had to be.
They don't want to get bang for their buck now, St Kilda, with the play they've had early in this quarter.
Well, it's been a game of turnover, hasn't it? Ben Dixon, you talked about it in that second quarter. The fact that whoever's really got the ability to score off turnover, it's been St Kilda's strength so far today. They just need to capitalise at this moment, though.
Gilbert wide. Rewalt. A block against Ballantyne. Free kick. And Bruce in the perfect spot to have a shot from. 35 directly out rather than 48 out on an angle.
Well, they're dominating the quarter. But they're behind on the board. They've kicked 5 behinds to 1 goal 2. So a total of 8 points plays 5. They've got to get, as Ben says, bang for their buck. They have to get a return.
And he's an accurate kick.
This range is good for him.
20 goals so far this year. 38-22 last year. And he breaks the drought.
That's a big goal from Josh Bruce. Well played by the Saints. Nick Rewalt in a big contest on the half-forward flank. Created the opportunity. Here's this contest with Ballantyne. Big corky in that upper thigh. Oh, it's his knee. Looks like a bit sore again. But great contest by Rewalt. Then a fantastic kick. Just put it to the space. Drew Josh Bruce back to the ball, and that's a big kick. That shows mental toughness.
Winning the clearance battle this third quarter, the Saints 5-1. The ball's living down their end. They need more of that type of return.
All tied up. Cox down. Neal. Fife. Ballantyne. Gray. Top of the square. Brown. Sheridan. Walters. In the blink of an eye, they're back in front. And Walters has 4.
Ross Lyons spoke about a pre-game about Fremantle going away from the ball. Sometimes you just need to go to the ball, and the best players do it time and time again.
But this is predictable, Matthew.
Correct.
Your forwards know. Now, Walter's right now. He thinks I'm leading out there because they're swaying out that way. Gets kicked back in. So what does he do? He tracks the ball.
Goes to the ball. Yeah. Goes to the ball. Sometimes it gets complicated. If you're predictable as a team and you go to the ball, a chance to get it.
I have to be honest too, just watching him, unbelievable game of footy so far, so he just wants to capitalise this on 4 quarters, but he hasn't really had a man at stoppages, funny enough. I showed that vision at half-time. I've seen 2 stoppages now that no player has gone to him, so he's in hot form and he's the player that's making the difference.
Yeah, 22 possessions, 4 goals, 2 for the afternoon. Cox still in the ruck because Sandlin's, if you've just joined us, is off injured with a hamstring again, and Darcy getting a little rest.
Jack Stevens, they need a return out of Jack Stevens. They need his express pace away from stoppages here. He's had the 7 possessions, but only 3 by foot. When he can drag it away and sprint away, they're in good nick.
Yeah, Subban's annoyed him all afternoon. Lowe back with the flight. Hamling turns it over. Billings, Nunes, caught by Weller and dropped it. Had no prior at the time. Stephen back against the grain. Stevens back against the grain. Both had a piece of it. Both couldn't get it out. Johnson over it. Subban, Stevens' man, gets it away towards McCarthy. Hands on it. Fife rolling the tackle. Still trying to get it up to Gray. He's got Darcy over the top, long. Bang! Oh, big tackle.
Good tackle.
19-year-old body gets the hold in the ball call. He's got what it requires, this kid.
He's endearing himself to the Fremantle fans, isn't he? Except for that kick, but that sort of effort in the ruck and that sort of follow-up from a ruckman, that's what your fans want to see.
He is a massive human. That was right in front of me, and I felt that.
Especially when your number 1 ruckman you've been cheering for over a decade is 35 years of age at the end of this year and injured. Aaron Sandlin's, we've seen the makings of a new one. It's a good contest at the moment. Membry kicks smothered again. Billings rolled in that tackle.
Talked to somebody in the know over here at halftime, and they said that Subiaco over here in the Waffle have got some senior players, and they played against Darcy in round 4, and they thought, average. They played against him in the return game about 4 weeks ago, and they thought, this kid is through the roof.
Yeah, right.
He has improved so much in 8 weeks. We can't go with him.
Stevens stonks it out. Good fist.
We get a look at him now.
Free kick for too high. Okay.
But he's really hard to shift, and in fact he's shifting Longer, who's in his 7th season of league footy. He's shifting him sideways at the around the ground boundary line throw-ins and the ball ups around the field.
Goes to show sometimes what faith in an individual and an opportunity does. Work with development coaches, you know, they spend hours and hours of time, development coaches, working with young players these days, getting them up to the speed of the game plan, but also backing them in, giving them some faith and some trust in their ability.
Subban wide to Mundy. Good collect. Held his composure. Rolls it to 5. If it stays in, he can go. Just rolled out. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd.
Saints get a let off there. And let's see if Darcy gets to this one. But what I was saying is you get a look at him against Longer here. A 7-year veteran against a second gamer. See if he can push him sideways again. Longer's got to stand up to this. Did well.
Subban. Sinclair got a hand in the way. Did well. Kept it alive to Ross. Back to Steele. Was Ross. Back again from Longer. Now Robertson on the wing. Toes it to his own advantage. Shouldn't be deliberate because he was trying to keep it in to collect it himself.
Just another injury update. Brennan Cox down here, you saw before. Just tape on his right quad. He's got a corky at the moment running up and down the boundary line, so hopefully he's okay. They can't afford to go another ruckman down.
You're going to take some type of mental resilience, mental toughness to push through in your 3rd or 4th game of AFL footy. No doubt he's prepared for it in some ways. It's a good tackle.
Rode it, Walters.
Looked away from Crozier, gave it up to Darcy. It'll be a mark if it's taken. Crozier, caught by Ross to Tucker. Danger here, Fife in a 1-on-1. Geary makes it a 1-on-2. Now it's a 2-on-2.
Well played.
Broke away.
Great play.
Mavwell, a little fumble. Geary. Gilbert. Robertson just out of his reach. Goes back in. Good, hard contest. Both were hurt. Mundy's a little shaken, but he got a handball up. Griffin low. Back to Sheridan. Robertson wrapped him up. Steele takes it out. This game's gone up a gear.
Benny, are we looking at Nick Revolt? Has he drifted into the back line now as we look at...
Good contest. Mundy and Robertson going straight at the ball. That's fantastic.
Yeah, he did, Dermot. You're right. He just pushed down through the corridor there because he's sitting at the back of this stoppage now. No one on him, but he just an extra body down there right at the minute. You said the heat's up and he just got that possession.
Rewalt to Ross to Rewalt. Membry, good attack. Kept it in front. Bruce is long. Can he get there? He's up. Good fist handling. Billings. Spur. Another outstanding one-on-one, that attack. Gresham held his ground. Gave it to Bruce. Opens it up towards Steele. Reach and got it.
Great vision by Josh Bruce in the contest to begin with. Then the follow-up and the composure to see Jack Steele out the corner of his eye.
I don't mind that. That's good selection by Jack Steele. If he's to run on and get closer to goal, he was definitely, after a bit of exhaustion in that hard run, going to be on his left foot. He's not going to kick a left foot goal on the run like that. So take your time, go back, settle over the kick, come back and now drill it.
Coming off a 36-possession game in the VFL last week to get his way back into the lineup. Good boy. And scores. Level again.
Great play by St Kilda, win the ball. Nick Revolt on the wing to begin with, won it. Got the ball going forward. Tim Membry socked the ball to himself, and then Jack Billings and Josh Bruce did so well. Jake Gresham, a great contested possession. Could have gone to Luke Dudster, but saw Jack Steele moving into the forward 50 and Dermy right. He could have gone.
It went through his mind, but he knew he didn't have the capabilities on the left on the run.
Hasn't had a big day, but that is a huge moment for him and the team.
Trade for a second-round pick. Saints picked him up. Just 10 games for the Giants last year, 17 in total. Longer. Darcy. Walters, slick hands to Hughes. Subin. Bounced off like a rubber ball. Ducked, umpire said. Sheridan, wrap-around tackle on Geary. Going to be some bruises after this one.
See, Walters put the little shoulder block into that one.
Everyone down the spine of the ground. Neal. He'll a fumble. Weller. Good pick up, Ballantyne. And his turn. Out to Hughes. Hits McCarthy. Not quite. Five, not quite. Gilbert. Billings. Gilbert. Weller manhandled. Walters. Weller of the Fremantle variety. Subin back towards full forward. Ballantyne used his body. Montagna used his smarts.
We've got issues down here with Sam Gilbert. I think he was knocked out in a tackle down here with Cam McCarthy. The trainer's with him at the moment, but it does not look good at the moment.
Fell forward in the tackle and driven into the ground from behind.
The Saints don't want them to stop play right now. They're about to go forward with a horrible kick in the Membry direction, gathered by Johnson. To Spur. To Hughes again. Speaking of development, back into the lineup. He came from a hockey and a motocross background.
They'll have to stop
become a footballer.
They're going to stop
No, he's had a good day as the players stop because of the stretcher, and rightly so. But he has had a good day, Ethan Hughes. He's sort of been in and out of the side for the majority of this year, but he's up to the 23 disposals today. He's 4 inside 50s, a couple of tackles. Here's this.
And he takes him all the way down.
Oh, yeah, okay. Head slammed into the deck.
Should have been, at very least, a free kick on that in the back.
All the medicos are out there looking after him. There's Cam McCarthy on screen. But the staff these days at football clubs, AFL teams, take such good care of their players. We see a number of incidents throughout the game, but the players are so looked after by the doctors, well trained. They'll look after him here, make sure he's all right. as we have a bit of a love and play. What do Fremantle need to do, Derm, in this next little period? St Kilda have had a dominant quarter in a lot of ways with the statistics, but Fremantle just hanging in there. What do you think?
I think they've saved a few shots. We've seen their most damaging player is Walters.
Yeah.
And they've saved a few shots. He's pretty well rested on the bench. They look best when he's around the footy and he can move the ball sideways. They're pretty well rested for Fife playing up forward. They've been knocked over with clearances in this third quarter.
They're 9-4 in St Kilda's favour.
That's a reverse of the trend that happened in the first half. So they've got the option with either Walters going into the middle, Fife going into the middle. Mundy hasn't spent all that much time in the middle either. Sort of been on the periphery a bit and forward. So they've got options to go to the well again and start winning the ball at the source, because St Kilda had to throw everything they had at them in this third quarter. So for me, there's no difference at the moment, and I would say time on in the last quarter, we're going to be thereabouts as well.
Yeah. Here we go, Cam McCarthy throwing down in the tackle, sort of went on with it a bit further, and he actually went across to Sam Gilbert just to, I guess, pay his respects in some ways and say, I hope you're all right, mate.
Some applause for Sam Gilbert, hoping to play his 200th by the end of the year.
He's moving.
Sam Gilbert, game 193. Let's hope he's not out for long.
He's conscious. So, and it's once you, I know it's precautionary, but you just hate seeing the neck brace go on to anyone.
And like a timeout. With 3 minutes 41 left in this third. Subin at half-back. And the big 3:38 coming up here for the last change. Big leapers go up. Front of the pack again. Walters read it to perfection out wide to Fife. Mundy caught by Stevens. Handed it to Rewalt. Turnover. Gresham. He gets away. And it opens up for the Saints here. Stevens with a handball. Billings was behind him. And it holds it up.
That tackle by Kobe Stevens is underrated. It's a huge tackle to get Mundy. Almost broke free. David Mundy very strong through the core. Got the ball going the other way.
Jack Steele's gone back to full forward for the Saints, having a rest. Darcy ripped it out of the air. Carlisle put it into the stands.
See, even that one again, I keep going to call him Luke. Sean Darcy shoved longer a little sideways again. Ben, you get a look at him ground level. He's a powerful kid.
Certainly is a powerful kid. Holds his ground, and you can just see how aggressive he is in the tackle as well, so I wouldn't want to get pinned.
This could go out again, and we get another look at him. So this is a ball up. So once again, when he's able to stand shoulder to shoulder, because Longa's out-jumped him at the centre, but when he's edging around to Longa, he doesn't want any separation. And
again he wins it. Rewalt hammers it in the Bruce and Hamling direction. Hamling kick off the right foot. Max Walker style. Hill got on the end of the handball and he bends it back like a work of art.
Well done, Joe Hamling. That was a different play, but it was effective. He got the ball going forward, and classy finish by Brad Hill. We have another look at it. Yeah. He attacks the ball really well, leaves his man, and then, yeah, it was left hand onto the right foot. Nice clean pick up, and then ball use. That's a great hand pass by.
He came from the back of the stoppage, Hill. He was the safety out the back of the stoppage. Brad Hill on the wing after kicking the goal, and as per usual, once he kicks a goal, no one's willing to stand next to him. And we look inside the rooms now, and that's, sad for Brad Gilbert.
Sam
Gilbert, sorry, Brad.
A little bit of not far away from starting though, Doom. Good to see you're on the same track. Crozier bangs it long. Carlisle stands under it.
St Kilda have got that free man. Yeah, that's right. It's good news to St Kilda. Fremantle have pushed a couple of players back. Don't want too many scores against them in this last few moments, but
play an advantage here for Gresham.
That was a much better build-up by St Kilda. They just chained by handball to just get over that line. Now they've got their forward entry.
Spearing past, looking for Loney, thumped away. Gresham, who started it all. Hamling stands under it, tough one. Membry on the run. Oh, Jack Steele. It was impossible to kick that with the outside of his boot, surely.
Quick
kick in.
They're going to have to run it.
Walters.
That's his 12th disposal this quarter, Michael Walters. Wasn't his best one.
Squeezed it wide to McCarthy. Big contest this with 90 seconds left. Dunstan, Hill, Fife, kept it in front. They're away. He's got no one to kick to. Has to wait. Carlisle comes at him. Oh. Tucker. McCarthy. Cox. About to be run down. Gone. Steele. That could be a game changer.
What a fantastic chase and tackle by Jack Steele. Could have been forgiven for letting it go, but that is fantastic.
This kid, I mean, the non-awareness of Cox and the non-talk from the supporting player had to be screaming, hot, hot, hot. He thought he was clear, but Jack Steele will do that. He is just a soul-type player, and he will charge and run for you as long as his body permits.
Saved a certain goal there. Billings. Still a chance here for the Saints if Billings can trap it. He does trap it. Logues right with him. Billings. Stevens. Loney. Kick smothered. Now a chance for the Dockers late. Mundy. Inside to Tucker. He's got Walters screaming for it. He looks up and sees him. He waits. 15 seconds left. Kicks it up high. Montagna. Saving. Big mark there for the Saints. And at three-quarter time here at the main stadium in Perth, we've got yet another AFL game this season with just a kick the difference and a quarter of it left. Saints come into this round 15, 8th spot on the ladder. They've been bumped down to the 8 with a couple of the results so far this round. They can play their way back inside the 8 with a victory away from home. But Fremantle not out of the finals picture if they win this one as well. Don't go anywhere. 5 points, the margin. The 10-7, 67. Matthew Pavlich, take us through it.
Yeah, well, we saw a great tackle from Jack Steele in that third quarter. We see here the Fife ball there on the wing. Brennan Cox is the one that gets tackled. You wouldn't think Jack Steele there on the right-hand side of the screen can actually get it. But you watch this. This is why he's so rated by St Kilda. He's running. He's almost going at sort of mid-pace there. Then realises he's half a chance here to affect the tackle. And Brennan Cox probably needed a bit more rest, but he puts the hammer down and he gets there. So he's run 150 metres to affect that tackle. He hasn't had the biggest day, Derm. He's up to the 9 disposals, but 13 tackles. I mean, that is just outstanding. He's one that they can hang their hat on in terms of that pressure, that desire, that endeavour going into this last quarter to say, well, that's the type of effort we need to get across the line.
He's missed 3 games, back in the team today after being dropped recently. He's plus 22 tackles on the next best at the Saints. I mean, this kid is, you talk about ripping young men, he is a fantastic footballing citizen. Let's go down to Ben Dixon on the ground level.
Thanks, Dermot. Speaking of ripping young men, we lost Aaron Sandilands, Sean Darcy in his second game. He stood up again, 25 hit-outs, 1 goal, 15 possessions, outstanding, a crunching tackle. And when you stand at 201 and 111 kilos, you don't want to get in the way. He's up for a big last quarter.
Spot in the 8 comes down to this. Ross on hands and knees. Longer can't get it away. Steele in the congestion again. And there's another tackle, like that 14 for the game.
And we love, on the back of Dicko, young Darcy, we love characters. And he's just ready-made to be the next one.
Montagna just pulled his kick to Rebolt. Spur, outstanding attack from both players there. Loney slow to get up. Let's hope he's okay. Rebolt can't get out of it.
That's a brave effort by both players. Look at this.
Watch the way Loney hits. Oh, that's like a wrestling move off the turnbuckle.
And good news for Sam Gilbert. He's down on the boundary line on the Saints interchange. He looks all well.
Good to hear.
Spur kicks around the body. Geary, can he get there? Dragged down in the marking contest. Free kick against Gray. Sinclair will have to bring it back.
So, Dicko, with the Gilbert situation, after the time's elapsed, is there a chance he'll come back on?
I personally don't think so, Dermot. I did see the incident and I think he went out. So I'd be very surprised if he come back on. But it's good to see him up walking and talking with the doctor.
Robertson wide, the Rebold, little stumble and he drops it.
Little grab then, didn't he? Just was his knee troubling him that he couldn't launch off it? Because I got the feeling that was that plant the left leg and ready to launch at it. Gilbert on screen there next to Dunstan.
No doubt the doctors would have done initial testing in terms of concussion, and you would have thought he's unlikely to come back on.
Another win to Darcy in the ruck with the tap.
Montagna cut down, but got his kick away. Spur under it. Gresham. Free kick to Spur.
So, if Nick Riewold, who's on the mark, if he gets the record today, St Kilda will win. He's only 3 marks. If he takes 6 marks in this last quarter, it means it's down that end, so the Saints will win.
For those people unaware, Nick Riewold stalking the 9 marks he needs to overtake Gary Dempsey for the most marks in AFL, VFL history. Fife takes a good mark. Speaking of marks.
Oh, that's not good. Long is cramped on the mark here.
Well, speaking of marks, they've taken 12 marks inside 50, St Kilda, to Fremantle's 3. So, speak about bang for your buck. They haven't hit the scoreboard, still down by 5.
Fife stands under this again. He's up. Great hands. He's found some form in his return game.
Yeah, his attack on the ball is always first class, Nathan Fife, but early on he was a little bit scrappy with a couple of handballs, but it's that attack and that effort that's seen him really work himself into this game. A couple of those marks.
Hard run by Hill, just breaks open the defence. He's willing to run super distances at great pace to receive an easy kick. Splits them open, and as a result, Dwayne, they have it forward of the centre now. Other than that, everything was blocked up. I mean, this man is he's almost superhuman with his endurance.
Yeah, it's his sprinting ability. They talk about
sprints,
repeat sprints. They talk about 1,000 metres of sprinting a game is a lot. This guy almost runs 2,000. He's incredible.
Longer down to Jack Steele, gets away from Subin for a rare time. And Hamling's been outstanding again this afternoon. Premiership player with the Dogs, big pickup. Spur, speaking of Premiership players, 2-time SANFL Premiership player picked up by Fremantle as a mature age recruit, and he has delivered big time since being here.
Terrific play by St Kilda, man on man and hard man on man, trying to just lock this in their forward half.
Cam McCarthy then was around the half-forward area, wing area, unsure if he needed to come up at that football because it was held up. He was probably waiting for a hole or keeping the space for a midfielder to fill that area. But sometimes, as a key forward, you just got to go, right, I'm up to this contest. I need to attack this ball for my teammate who's down the line.
Longer from behind, knocked it down. Hit it exactly where he wanted to hit it, but just ran away from Sinclair.
Yeah, as a key forward on the lead. Better to get there a little bit too soon. You'll have to camp underneath it and you'll cop a knee in the back than get there too late. Yeah. Because if you're too late, the opposition mark it. Another hit out.
Darcy. Ricochets back again. Weller. Longer. Ross. Now Webster's on the open side. Looks up if he can find a chest. Squeezes the kick just inside 50. And we talked about how big each passing shot at goal has been for the Saints. This kick from Jack Nunes, and he hands it off to Carlisle. He's already kicked 2 monsters.
Oh, Jack Nunes is the best kick in the club.
That was for the lead.
He is the best kick in this team. Richo said, take the onus, Jack. Take it on yourself.
His fault for giving it or Carlisle's fault for calling for it?
Bit of both. You don't have to give it and you don't have to run past.
There is Nunes again.
You own the ball, you control the game, I say.
Rewalt chisels it. Jack Steele knocked it away. Carlisle still there. Johnson turned his backside in, picked up the Sharon. Cox had it knocked away. Subin knocked out.
Got to say, he slid under the radar today. Michael Johnson's game has been superb. 21 possessions, he's gone at 90%. His decision-making, as we remember him from 2 years ago and beyond, has been first class.
And we've got Michael Wilder's running here. You can see KB Stevens in shot with him at the moment. So he's got to run with, and it's going to be hard this quarter. I've just seen the last 2 stoppages, a lot of body on body. But Michael Wilder's, to his credit, he's trying to block for another midfielder. So smart play.
We'll make him run.
Last time the Saints won here at the main stadium, Ross Lyon was their coach. Can they steal the lead here? Bangs it inside, 50, good mark. Taken again in defence by Tucker. In fact, it's Ryan. He heads wide. Lockie Neal looks up, doesn't want to waste it. Lyon gets to the front. Carlisle at the back. Stays in play, and Dunstan marks it. Hands it up to Ross. Kick inside 50 in the Bruce direction. Big crunch memory. Gathered it. Banged into Hamling. Hamling picked his pocket. Gave it back to Johnson somehow. Sheridan. Johnson. Down the spine. Caught. Just got a handball away. Hughes. Lockie Neal. Sinclair stole it back. Options out wide. Membry. Called back into it. And this kick for the lead.
There'll be a few fans sitting at home thinking, why didn't someone just kick the ball forward? Well, there was nothing to kick to. The Fremantle players had all flooded so far back inside their defensive half and weren't able to get forward ahead of the ball, so Michael Johnson had to come back to his numbers.
And that's where a forward with a definitive understanding of the game can demand the ball and know the time to lead up and provide the option.
To take the lead for the first time since the opening quarter. And this is a season that just keeps on giving. Saints in front.
This lead's going to change 2 or 3, 4 more times. Make no mistake, the Dockers are still playing pretty good football. The Saints have owned it in their forward half for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Good spot up here, and they go out the back door. This is the turnover. He didn't have the option coming forward there. Nobody was coming at him, so he looked for the handball.
It's a great finish by Tim Membry. 6 inside 50s to the Saints. Been so dominant early.
Stevens back against the grain, gave it to Weller.
Both forward lines, Dwayne, are 5-man v 7-man defences.
Weller and Crozier bumped heads. Mav and Lockie, Mav 4 years older than his younger brother. Head to head again in this one. Walter's little trap down. Fife couldn't quite keep it in front. They scramble it to attacking 50, the Dockers.
Mav Weller grew up a Fremantle supporter. He actually ran out with us down in Tasmania one day. Ran alongside of us, which was a special moment, no doubt, for him.
The younger brother, Mav, and Tyson, the older brother. Me Too was his nickname. Every time his older brothers wanted to do something, he said, me too. Nunes out wide. Billings.
Yeah, really good usage there. Nothing but purple jumpers ahead, so he had to go short and wide.
Rewald couldn't half volley it. Hill.
Yeah, Brad Hill's not going to break too many tackles.
We talked about it earlier in the game, but the ability for Fremantle to spread the ball and make St Kilda defend them was a highlight of their, or feature of their play early on.
And they did it well.
They have. It looked like they've gone a little bit into their shell in terms of just bailing out the ball down the line. They still have to keep playing the way they did early in the game to win this game of football.
Great effort.
Steele hassled off it, but that's a 3 on the full. Fremantle stuck on their 3/4 time score.
That's that long leg of Nunes.
Billings from behind, Ryan in front. Ryan claims it was his. Billings paid the mark. Had the bigger piece of it. Stevens. He gets a free. Plays onto advantage. Blasts it long. Membry plucks it. Not paid it. Gathered it again. Gave it out. Rewald from a stand start. Post.
Umpire put the whistle to the mouth for Membry, but then decided, no, that wasn't quite long enough.
Do you think he held it long enough? Just a look.
He secured it.
Yeah.
He secured it. He stopped the ball in its tracks.
And it looked like it was long enough for me.
Well, had it been in slips, I don't think the umpire would have raised the finger.
Crozier.
Well done.
That's a mark.
It's hard to not pay that one.
He nearly crushed the air out of it. Hayden Crozier then. Short to McCarthy.
This is what we want to see. We want to just see them compose themselves. St Kilda's got all the play here. Chip around so you can find the free player, whether it takes a switch or two.
Are they good enough, though, Ben? Are they good enough by foot to do this 6 or 7 times? Because St Kilda are squeezed up on them now, forcing them down the line.
Yeah, they didn't pull it off this time. We've got Big Darcy on the wing. Why wouldn't you go to him?
Look at the big kid.
Well, he's going to be a really good player when he gets bigger and matures. 19-year-old gives it off to Weller.
Oh, hang on.
Danger here. Long bomb wide. Logue goes up. Subin was in a perfect spot. Spur.
See, that's where Mundy knew that moment. He recognised the man was facing out that way. He needed something to look at, so he delivered the lead out there. The ball still with Fremantle.
Ryan in just game 4. Blasts it long. Crozier might be the man. He's up. Got a hand on it. Ballantyne. Brown. Don't give it back to Ballantyne. Behind.
How good is Ryan's kick? That's a weapon. No, I mean, that's something to bank in the back of your mind and understand that kid can get the young man can get the ball travelling through the air.
Let's see how good Fremantle's defence is, because St Kilda locked it in there for the last 5 minutes. Now Fremantle got their chance down their end.
Robert and White the longer. Spur jumps in. 2-point game. 11 minutes and change left with some time on.
Bit late there. He had a couple racked up in the middle of the ground.
He wants to go there, but
he should retreat. Still should retreat.
Mundy. And we know he can kick a big goal under pressure.
He's got the best set shot routine I've seen in the last few years, so if I was him, I'd be having a shot.
He likes the big moments. David, a very calm and composed individual, pretty well managed,
isn't he? He's unflappable.
Oh yeah.
Does he get the ball travelling with the in-swinger from left to right?
Seen him win games after the siren. This is huge. Stays in play. Montagna scrambles it away. The Dockers have the wall set up.
Oh, you've got to turn and look in quick.
Hughes does. He goes to Hamling. Good mark. Membry overcommitted. Hamling in space. Overcooked it. Straight past a couple. Robertson traps it. Hands it out. Mundy, good tackle. Rolling tackle. No Pryor. Has to be ball up.
This is when, Dwayne, every action is scrutinised because one mistake could mean the match.
No surprise, we've got another game going down to the wire. Longer. Ballantyne to Fife. Rolls out of play.
Now Cam McCarthy's gone into the ruck, or at least taking this.
Well, Darcy's off.
Yeah, so he's had to take that. And we know Brennan Cox is actually a bit sore with that corker, so Cam McCarthy is in the ruck here. So you'd think Billy Longer would be able to put this down the throat of a St Kilda teammate, which he does.
Sinclair, scrubby little kick though. Dunstan, Mundy, stole it from his grasp, but was caught. Steele flicks it wide. Weller smothered.
And the moment of the first 3 quarters was Michael Walters, who just smothered that ball. You can see just holding his hand there. He hasn't touched the ball in this quarter. So Kobe Stevens, good job so far. You'll see here, just on the hand. That'll hurt because it's nice and cold. I can tell you right down here at the moment.
Sinclair's free right in front here.
Through hand, Steele.
Great hit.
Montagna out. Dunstan wide. Ross. Walters. Ross shrugged him. Dunstan banged out by Hill.
Repeat efforts by the Fremantle players to at least lock the ball in their forward half. St Kilda had all the momentum in the first half of this last quarter. Fremantle's turn to have it in their forward half.
They've inched it out of kicking distance range, though, the Saints.
Cox does the ruck work. Longer. Front spot. Lockie Neal. Karate kick out of midair. Stevens bumped off it. Robertson tucked up against the boundary. Not 15, so it's play on. Crutch. Hits the deck. Sinclair. Two Fremantle players wanted it so badly they collided. Fife.
McCarthy's pretty sore as well, yeah.
Two.
Got one to the back of the head here.
The ponytails clashed.
Well, Fife must have a hard noggin. He's knocked him over with.
He's up. He's up and moving.
Tossed in the air. Mundy. Good pick up. Newnes on the run. Carlisle wide. Good bounce for Hughes. Got it to Hamlin. Sidestep was delightful. Kick is wide. Under it. Robertson. Good grab. There's some poise there.
Walters chasing over. It just seems like it's a Walters day, doesn't it? If the ball makes its way to him, look out.
Dunstan dropped it. Lockie Neal, the Sheridan, pops it back to Walters. You read it like a book, Derm, and he'll line up with this kick to give them the lead back with his fifth.
He is a star, this man.
Jason Hughes has been cool and calm under pressure today. It's been his best game by a long way. He's up to the 29 disposals, been really effective by hand and foot. It looked like a genuine league player for maybe the first time in his career, which is fantastic news for Fremantle. A huge moment here for Michael Walters.
Nice dab kick by Sheridan inside as well.
Yep.
It's a long run-up, Dwayne.
Well, we know he had the shot last week to win the game. This to put them in front with 7 minutes left. And he delivers. Ice in his veins. He's got 5.
It is a Walters day, all right, isn't it? He's a big-time player. We watch it from behind here. So he's just loitered in front of Mav Weller. He doesn't get picked up. Weller doesn't quite know whether to chase the ball out. He's still delegated there, and in the end, just can't get onto the back of Michael Walters.
Second time he's kicked 5 goals in a game. You would have thought he's had more than that, but he's been so important today.
He's headed for his best ever numbers in a game. Michael Walters. There's still a massive 7 minutes coming up in this. How's your heart? Another heart stopper. Bruce in the ruck. Knocks it down to Stephen. Drives it long. Membry's got 4 to beat. Oh, how good was that?
Well, he got hold of that one.
What a great mark.
And he has been kicking sweet this afternoon.
And 50.
I can't believe that.
So they can shake this through for an easy goal and give them the lead back.
This might be some experience you'll see in this replay.
To the Blues. Saints back by 2 points.
That is a great clunk.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic mark.
Stevens out the middle, though. That's what they need. It's a great pair of hands.
This is what we're talking about. It's his time. Just watch this, Rewalt. You watch.
Rewalt calls for it.
There you go. The old fake.
Umpire. Gee. Now, I suppose you do have to give it back to the man who but he sucked the kid in there.
We've all been there. Well, Chris Scott got me one day in Brisbane with that, with Brad.
That's a different way the Scots used to get you.
He won't get a stat for that. That is one thing they don't stat in this game these days. Dive to the free kick, Saints. They've got the momentum. 6.5 minutes left. Bruce.
He's going to be dangerous in the middle, Joshy Bruce. He's going to run around this last 5 or 6 minutes.
Membry up in the pack. Gathered his own crumb. Stevens. Steele. Banged. Got the kick away. Just touched through. Gresham on the behind line.
In this last quarter, it's a big couple of centre square clearances by the Saints. Stoppage work critical in these big moments.
Walters has come off. You've got to have him out there, don't you? Just for the last 6.
One last rest.
He's actually just held the open hands out to go, why?
He's not happy down here at the moment.
LeBron James, just give him a spell. Bring him back on for the closer.
You'd want him forward to this, wouldn't you?
Mundy almost threw that to Fife. Got it to him. To Subin. Caught. Back to Mundy. Tight ropes the boundary. Stephen stole it from him. And they're about to steal this game from Fremantle the way they're playing. Montagna. Carlisle.
Don't play on, use it wisely. There is a stack of time left.
Yeah, this is where they've just got to dig in, Fremantle. We spoke about how good St Kilda were man on man. They've just got to push right up here and force the long kick. They can't afford a switch.
Well, they've done pretty well to hold that one up. Carlisle could have almost gone.
A little stumble by Nunes. Fake Ballantyne. Drives it long, Hamling under it. Not enough to be paid the mark. Tucker the crumb. Hughes.
That's cool.
Ryan. Hamling. Ryan caught.
No prior. Definitely the right decision there by the umpire. Hamling, he knew straight away that he sold his teammate into trouble.
Kobe Stevens comes off the ground, Dicko, and he's limping, labouring his way to the bench.
Yeah, he's just on the right groin at the moment. I think it might even be a bit of cramp maybe down. He's with the physios at the moment. I'll keep you updated.
Well, it did well till it got behind him. Hill. They've got an extra man back. Ross. Robertson. Spur. Held it long enough.
Michael Walters has come back on the ground as well. And his little LeBron James spell, Dwayne.
Johnson wide. Lockie Neal to Subin. Breaks away. Ballantyne short. He goes longer. Walters just off the bench. And this is for number 6 and the lead back.
What a start. This is one of the great small forward games you're going to see. What a start. He's been on for seconds, Dwayne.
And how clever's Ross Lyon? A little breather. Brings him back on. Still has to kick it. He's going to own this place this afternoon if they get up from here.
Not many times you have 6 goals and 30 touches. He's got 29 touches and the 6 goals. So it could have easily been 8 goals because the 2 he missed down.
Sodas.
Yeah, they were down the other end.
He did his best to miss that one.
He's had a great day. Ethan Hughes across the half-back line again. A couple of nice bits of play. It's a great kick by Nick Subin to see the one over the top. Just come on the ground and took the moment.
I had their hearts ripped out in a thriller last week by Geelong. They're back in front in this one, but still an enormous amount of time left.
Well played.
Gresham bangs it forward. And this is huge as well. We've talked about Billings all afternoon. His goal kicking, his rise to stardom. This is tough.
It's a stunning kick, but has he got the journey?
It's a wobbler. It's low. And no one else with Johnson on the goal line.
Yeah, Brucey went back behind the goal line, hoping he could sort of body someone underneath the long high ball, but it came in very flat.
I thought he was going to pull the kick for a mark target. That's a huge Greg Griffin load in game 6.
So the one thing the Saints have to do now is not panic. Still stick to the structure. 3 minutes, 2 minutes 45 is a desperately long time to hang on to the ball.
Membry.
They're in.
No,
Billings. Now 4 Docker players back through hands. Last thing they needed. Loney couldn't get a kick away. Spur jumps on it. Loney jumps on him. Ball up.
There's a huge tackle or body on the line from one of the Fremantle players. Probably should have been a mark, but then they had the opportunity, St Kilda, but a huge tackle.
15 in the pack for the Dockers.
You could throw a blanket around 15 of them for this ball up. It comes down to this. 2 minutes 17. 3 points the margin. Dockers lead. Saints are inside 50. Darcy's flicked down. Quick snap, Loney. It's wide. Rolls out.
Probably better from the boundary line throwing for the Saints' chances, because you get open areas and spaces.
They've kicked the 2 goals, one from the throw-ins today so far, Derm, so you're spot on. Gives them an opportunity.
Gresham's loitering right at the very front.
Walters. Ball up.
See there, number 4, Gresham. Jade Gresham didn't have an opponent standing next to him on that last throw-in. He's going to fade to the inside here.
Jack Steele, Walters. Not 15, it's play on. Bruce attacked it. Stevens got it out. Bruce for the lead. Oh, Brucey! Footy at its finest. That is as good as it gets. They're back in front.
Well, how good's this season of AFL footy been? Seesawing games, close contest, flat out, and there's another example of a great finish by Josh Bruce. Throws it on the boot. Snaps a fantastic goal. We see it from a stoppage. Michael Walters throws it on the boot. Bit of a scramble play. He goes up for the mark. Gets the handball, and gee, that's a big finish.
Going to go in with a 10-man defence at this bounce.
It comes down to a structural battle in terms of, as you say, the live ladder, how big a game this is for both teams, but Fremantle manning up all the St Kilda players that have fought back.
9-man defence for the Saints, Dwayne.
Lockie Neal, half a clearance. Flicks it up to 5. Hands it up to Spur. Floats it inside 50. The crumb's huge. Knocked down. McCarthy. Subin stole it. Gave it up just in time. Mundy has it off it. Griffin Logue through the traffic. Gave it up instead. Johnson forward. Stumbles. Gives it up. Spin around the body by Weller. And the mark. 1 minute left. They had their hearts ripped out last week, Fremantle. They're a minute from having their hearts ripped out again.
Big Darcy's down the line here.
Longer, Darcy, Logue. Front spot, Walters. And the mark to Billings. And he can take some seconds off the clock. He's run around. And he delivers out wide.
Michael Walters actually had a little bit more time. He had no idea about the pressure that was around him, but he could have spotted up Michael Johnson in the pocket.
Nunes plays on. Drives it long. They get a mark here. They've won it. Carlisle can't mark it. So it's still alive. He holds that. They win this game with seconds off the clock. Right now, it comes down to 1 clearance.
We talked about Darcy and his dominance from boundary line clearances. He's at this stoppage.
Red Hill over the back.
Darcy knocks it down. Ross clears the area. The seconds start rolling. Hughes a fumble. That might do it. Membry hands it up to Gresham. The seconds tick down. They've got it 1. He can put some icing on the cake. Opens it up to Bruce. Open goal. Off the scale. One of the great wins for the Saints. Saints came into this having lost 11 of their past 12 outside Victoria. They'd lost their last 6 here at the main stadium. They were behind at every change and they've won by 9.
They just played, really, when you look at this game, they got the last 2.5 minutes right.
Yeah, they did. And, full credit to the Saints. Huge game. Wonderful contest. Another great example of our fantastic game. Very close going into this game, and, geez, there was only one kick, really, that separated at the end.
What a game of football. The losing team had an incredible display from Walters. The winning team had they ground it out and they gutsed it out in the end, and so they got the last 2.5 minutes right. And one of the big stars over the last 2.5 minutes was the man who was with Ben Dixon, Big Brucey.
Josh still puffing, and so you should be after the sealer and then the double seal. What a great win.
Oh, mate, unbelievable. It's kind of a boyhood dream to get the winning goal. So, yeah, so lucky, and credit to Freo. Hard-fought match. You always knew it was going to be tough coming over here in the West. And we couldn't get over the Eagles here late, and just so happy to get another win on the road and keep pushing for this year. So.
What a game, though. Like, the pressure through the middle of the ground, and we spoke about at half-time. It was almost who's going to score off turnovers. It was that sort of game.
Yeah, exactly right. Some say our brand's pretty messy, but we love playing a little bit messy and getting turnovers and scoring off that. So, yeah, we're absolutely rapt to get the win, and full credit to the boys for fighting it out.
Talk us through that goal at the stoppage there that put you in front. Tell us what you were thinking right at that stage.
I don't know. I didn't really know where I was meant to be. I just popped out to me and I just threw it on the boot and curled in. So, yeah, very lucky. But then Gresh unselfishly sent it one for the sealer, and, yeah, couldn't be happier.
Very similar to last week. You had a win, you're in the 8, you're out again, you play now, you've had a win, you're back in the 8. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, great feeling to be in contention at this stage of the season. Obviously, it's a 1 week at a time prospect, but we're, as the old cliche says, but it really is with this season so tight. So, yeah, really looking forward to next week.
Well, it's a massive win. Well done, Josh.
Good on you. Thanks, mate.
That's awesome.
Kind of fortunate, Dwayne, that it did go to him. He is one of the few left-footers who could get that slot across the body at goals to put them in front, and then he kicks the sealer 60 seconds later.
3 goals in the end for Josh Bruce, 2 of them in the last quarter, and this fan base here at Domain Stadium is stunned again.
That man there on screen, Michael Walters, it's one of the rarities in our sport that a 3-vote getter is on the losing side. I know it's 9 points, it's only 9 points, but that man was so far and beyond best player on the ground, and the Saints denied him.
The agony and the ecstasy. Another classic finish in a classic season. Saints by 9.